I'm Tansy Main. I'm 42 years old. I had primary breast cancer in 2013. I went through the treatment for that and thought that was the end of it, and have been enjoying living our lives. I'm married to Craig and have two daughters, Ella, who's 14, and Freya, who's 12. I work for the Scottish Government for the Chief Medical Officer, and I love my job. It's really rewarding, and it's given me a wonderful focus through treatment and recovery first time round, and having that sense of purpose to my day. So I'm very lucky in that regard. So I found out I had secondary breast cancer in February 2021. I had not long celebrated my 40th birthday, and I was very, very unwell at that point, but I had no idea why. We were still in, I think, semi-lockdown at that point, and I remember people coming and dropping presents at the door and keeping a distance and wishing me happy 40th birthday, and I remember holding on to the door frame because I was in so much pain I could barely walk around the house, and I just thought I needed to see a chiropractor, and I was, willing at lockdown to finish so I could go and get my back seen to. So that was the end of January, my birthday, and then it was early February. I woke in the night with a stabbing pain in my abdomen, and we phoned NHS 24 and they asked me to go in to A&E. They thought I had appendicitis. At the time I had COVID as well, so my husband had to drop me at A&E and wasn't allowed to come in with me. And they had done a scan, and they'd obviously looked at my notes from my primary breast cancer, which was in 2013, and it was pretty quick actually when the doctor came back in and said, "I see you had breast cancer in 2013, and I said, "Yes, I did." And she said, "Well, the scan shows that the cancer's back, and it's everywhere." My diagnosis impacts work in a lot of ways. I guess I'm very fortunate that apart from the first 3 months after my diagnosis, when I started chemo, I have been working full time throughout, and my work have been extremely understanding and flexible. Actually having a full-time work that I really enjoy and I find fulfilling is a very welcome distraction, and I think it has actually helped me to cope with processing and dealing with the diagnosis. It's exhausting living with secondary breast cancer, and it can take its toll sometimes, and I like to give work 110%, and I like to give everything 100%, and that was something I really struggled with after diagnosis, was not being able to do all the things I used to do, and I still wrestle with not being able to give things 100% sometimes. Secondary breast cancer affects family life in so many ways. I guess it affects my relationship with my husband, because it's that constant black cloud, I guess, that's kind of hanging over us. What we just want to try and keep life as normal as possible for the girls. They have been absolutely amazing. We've explained to them that the cancer's not going away, and we are quite honest with them about treatment and what's happening, and they have really just raised their game in so many ways. They are so independent and helpful and self-sufficient, and have helped to take the load off. They have tried really hard to make things as easy for us, which is amazing for their age. It's not something that any parent wants their child to have to deal with. I think the biggest change that needs to happen for secondary breast cancer patients is prevention. When I was diagnosed in 2013, I had quite extensive treatment. I had a bilateral mastectomy, I had a nephrectomy because the BRCA2 gene has a high risk of breast and ovarian cancer. So I had my ovaries and fallopian tubes removed as well, and I was fortunate that I'd already had my children by then. We were pretty much told, you don't need to worry about this anymore, just live your life. And so we did. If my consultant had said, you've had a primary, there's a risk that it could come back, these are the things you need to look out for: weight loss, loss of appetite, tiredness and fatigue, back pain, pain in your bones, then I might have realised much sooner, because looking back, I had all those symptoms for probably 6 or 8 months before I was diagnosed. And maybe those 8 months might not have changed the outcome, but it might have.